In the sports talk radio justice world, mediocre quarterback play and porous tackling are considered especially heinous. On NBC Sports, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Lance J Radio Network. These are their stories.
So I was completely mortified by watching the R. Kelly documentary. And we got to talk about it on the show. I was just completely mortified, awestruck. There are a lot of things in Rampage, you know, that's one of the reasons that you're such a valuable asset to the show. And you like my bars, which is probably more important than all of this.
Bars.
But you know the industry. You know what's going on in the industry. I know that there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in the industry. But looking at the R. Kelly documentary, the things that I learned, and I get it, this is just somebody's depiction of what happened. So it's not something that's been, all of these things haven't gone to court. He's not convicted, but it was just very disturbing. Some of the things that came out the most is first of all, when they were talking about how he would go and get these young people to be his backup singers.
Before you say that, you got to say allegedly.
Allegedly. That's right.
Yes,
Allegedly. He was accused allegedly of hanging around high schools and picking up 14-year-old, 15-year-old young ladies to be in the videos. And that's it's always weird. We were all in high school at some point, and there was someone that was an adult. It was like 21, 22 that was hanging around the high school. It was always creepy. It was always weird. There are other alleged incidents that I don't even really want to talk about, but things that happened in his relationship with Aaliyah. And I know that you knew Aaliyah, and I definitely want to respect the dead, R.I.P., one of the queens, one of the best to ever do it. But what really jumped off the page to me is that the album Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and who's producing that and who's behind all of that. It's very sickening. So I'm just curious of both of your thoughts on that topic, because some of it was so heinous that it was hard for me to sit through that documentary, all 3 episodes. To just be completely honest, it was difficult.
All I got to say is at the end of the day, whatever happened, whoever did whatever, they're going to be dealt with.
I agree with that.
With the G.O.D.
True.
That's all I got to say, man.
True.
And, it's not right. I don't respect people to do that to women. You know what I mean? And,
babies.
Babies and kids, and it could be our daughters and our sons, and, you know, we don't know what people go through in their lives.
Right.
All I got to do is do me, you got to do you, but we all know what's right. We got to pray for people like that.
Yeah, that's true. But my thing was...
Because there's a sickness.
It is a
sickness. And that's a problem, and it's been going on for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, allegedly.
Right.
You know?
I watched a little clip from the article you sent me, Lance. Mm-hmm. And the girl, she was saying that they had, like, you know, like, the mom would call and, like, couldn't talk to the daughter. Like, don't you think that that's... I don't understand how you let your daughter... My son can't be anywhere and I can't talk to him.
Right.
See, one thing about the devil, he comes in when you're weak. Sometimes he works through people. So if you come in at a person or a young person that's young-minded, they can be persuaded, allegedly be persuaded.
But what about the parents?
Again, at the end of the day, if the parents are working and grinding, doing what they need to do for the family, they can't always see everything. And kids, you know how kids are. No, Mommy, I can do that. Mommy, no. Don't do that today. I told you to stay home, wash the dishes.
Yeah.
No, Mommy, this is my opportunity. I want to play basketball. I want to do music.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't as a kid, and I'm going to let the two of you dominate this segment because you're both parents and I'm not a parent, but who as a kid, 15, 16, wouldn't want to go on tour with R. Kelly? To have that opportunity to sing back up.
Allegedly.
And well, I mean, they were on tour. They weren't allegedly on tour. They were really definitely on tour. But who wouldn't want to be a part of that 15, and go to different cities and all of those things?
But again,
you're supposed to be at school.
We living in the game at the time. People that want to be in entertainment, some of them are opportunists. You know, there's a proper way of doing things. you have to be chaperoned.
Yes.
If you're 15 years
yes,
old.
exactly.
You're 13 or 10.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody really believe in your kid, you're supposed to set up a meeting. Everybody understand and everybody's on the same accordion. Everybody's here. You know what I mean? No, if I go to the bathroom, don't slip my daughter no number. You're supposed to. Her father is there. Her mother is there. It's a proper way
what was
on
the
how you do things.
But what was the financial situation of the parents at the time? Because I mean, compensation. When you're in dire straits. I mean, as a kid, I grew up in some tough times. We weren't rich. I mean, sometimes, man, when you need some money, not necessarily that they would condone what actually was happening, but it's a lot easier to be like, okay, I'm going to let my 16-year-old daughter go on a tour with R. Kelly when this kind of money's coming in, when we need it so bad.
Again, you're going to sell your soul for the money, or you're just going to naturally figure out that you have talent and get with the right agents and the right people. There's two ways that you could look at that. If you're going to jump and sell your soul, then sell your soul. But again, when you sell your soul, there's a price that you have to pay.
With that, definitely.
You know.
But hindsight is 20/20. I mean, we didn't know the alleged issues back in the early 90s, what was going on with this brother. I mean, people know that now. It's come to light over the last 25 years. But think of all of the young acts just in hip hop, ABC.
Right? But again,
the youngsters.
But again, when these people going
B2K.
But again, when these
crisscross.
When these people are going through these things, it's not all about being a celebrity. It's about their background and their upcoming and how they came up. You know what I mean? We don't know what their personal issues was. When somebody that we love that performs heavy, he's in the game, he's on drugs. He's still on drugs no matter how many platinum records he make, no matter how many things he does that looks good to us because we're fans. He still has issues. He turns around and allegedly kills himself because it's so much pressure. Now he's doing things that he normally doesn't do. Look what they did to a couple of people that just went to jail. They literally sick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though we watched them on TV for years, we don't know what personal issues or their upbringing or what they do outside of we laughing to their jokes or listening to their music. We don't know them really until somebody say, hey, somebody did something. Wow, for real? Either we brush it up under the rug or we TMZ the situation.
Right. And I mean, we're in a TMZ culture.
Yeah.
One of the other things that jumped off the page allegedly, well, it's not allegedly said, but this is an allegation of what happened, is that the business manager knew that there were nefarious things going on and there was issues with underage young people going on and actually witnessed the issues with underage young ladies, but enabled R. Kelly to continue to do those things, did not talk to police, did not get those people out of there. There's this issue, and I don't want to disrespect Aaliyah, but just talking about her getting married to R. Kelly and forging a slip for her age so he could marry her, even though she was not of rightful age to make that decision. Whether that really happened or not, someone is saying in the documentary that I did that, that I forged the document so someone who was 15 could marry an adult. And to me, it's like, dude, you should be locked up.
Yeah.
You should be in prison for what happened because you've enabled it. You're a part of the machine. I'm curious, Ray, you being a person, I know that you've been connected to the hip hop industry, You've done videos, you've worked with artists, and then you're a mother, and you send your son out to work with coaches and people who you entrust with his personal safety. Curious of your thoughts.
I just think that the opportunist thing is real. Like, if a family is struggling, I could see how they would get caught up into that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is, my son can't, I know everything. I know all the parents. We talk, we text, we communicate. And
aren't there flags? I mean, someone's not taking your son. If you tried to call your son's coach and he was like, nah, he in the other room, you can't talk to him now.
Yeah,
to me, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
that's not
optional.
Right. Right.
I just think grown people needs to be accountable for our surroundings and our children. If my kids play with your kids, we know each other. Like let's really hang out. Let's really get to know each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not just because people come into town and these are people that we watch on TV, so we must treat them special, but we got to be accountable for a lot of things that we do as grown-ups. Because if we don't teach these ones, they're going to lose. We're going to lose them.
But isn't that a part of the industry across the board, Rampage? And you know the industry, obviously. Look at the people that I grew up listening to. Your cousin, Buster, he was still in high school. Leaders of New School first album. They was all still in high school. They just getting to 18.
Yeah, but
17, 18 year
but
old.
their parents was accountable because before they got together, the parents had to come together to sign contracts.
Right.
Because Tribe, De La, all of those dudes were 17 when they got in the game.
A lot of people didn't understand that they were formed a company. Those guys were young, but their mothers had to all come together and sign a contract.
Right.
This is what I mean by being accountable for certain things.
As a parent, having no
in this
family
situation, a lot of people was using money in different things, but wasn't accountable for what happened.
And all y'all East Coast dudes, y'all are all Jamaican, West Indians, so you know good
I wouldn't
and well.
say that all.
You know good and well, Jamaican family gonna let their kids.
It's just my mom. I love my mom because she was accountable for what I did.
Yeah.
She had to sign my contract.
Right.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? I had a cousin that was in the game who told my mother what to do for me to be successful in the music business. So he had to be accountable for. I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand. But I don't understand when we're not accountable for something and then some jump off.
Yeah.
We'll be back. One more segment,
Next
Last Day
documentary.
Radio Network, after these messages.